So today I am doing my 5-month baby update. I can't believe my little boy is 5 months old now. It's so crazy. First thing I want to talk about is nighttime routine, and I had originally wanted to really get down a strict nighttime routine for this month, but I kind of slacked a lot on it. I think a good nighttime routine will help him get prepared for bed and then hopefully sleep through the night, because he's still not sleeping through the night. I'm probably going to start bathing him at night before he goes to bed, just to kind of calm him down and relax him, which we've been doing. We just haven't been like religious on doing it every single night. And he is sleeping in his crib now. I started doing that at 4 months old, just so that he would start to get used to it, and hopefully that would help him sleep through the night. He still is waking up about 2 to 3 times during the night, and usually I go in and just check on him, put his pacifier back in, and then sometimes if he's really upset, I'll feed him, and that always does the trick to put him back to sleep. I just don't want him to get in the habit of knowing that he can get food when he cries, and also I don't want him to like start getting all of his calories during the night. I want him to eat during the day. So we're still working on it. I don't really know. He's still in his Merlin's Magic sleep suit. So I guess that's not really working for us as well anymore. I've read things about like the Zippity Dee sleep suit or similar things. So I found one on Amazon that I might get. I haven't decided yet. I just don't want to spend the money and then it not do anything. So we'll kind of see, but it's a sleep sack that zips up the front, and it actually puts their arms like this next to their head when you zip them up. So it's kind of a different sleeping position, because right now the sleep suit puts his arms straight out. So this one is like that, and then you can also remove the shoulders when they are done, and then they can have their arms free. So let me know if you guys have tried something like that, because I think that it's a totally different position, so I think maybe that could help, but I don't want to spend the money on something that's not going to work. Another thing, if you watched one of my recent vlogs, I talked about my breast milk being weird and like having to blanch it. So that's like this whole big deal. I mean, it's really not a big deal, but it's just like a long story, I guess. But basically, over the holidays, I wanted to give him some bottles to make it easier on me so that other people could feed him, and also he was babysat a couple times too when I wasn't around. I had thawed out some bags of milk from August, which is the month he was born, so like they were about 4 months old, and he wasn't taking them, so I just decided to dump it out and breastfeed. And when I was dumping it out, I realized that it smelled weird. It smelled like sour, like sour milk. So I was like so concerned, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much milk saved up, like you have no idea. So much milk saved up, and since I don't really use it, like I haven't I didn't know if it was going bad or anything like that. So I kind of freaked out and started testing a bunch of my milk and finding out that none of it really, and also this milk was at my parents' house, so it had transported from my freezer at home to 3 hours away to their freezer, so it had been moved around a little bit, so that might be part of it. And also it was from the month that he was born, so it was a little bit old, and I probably had a lot of hormones and craziness going on that month. So there's a lot of different factors. I started smelling some of my September milk, and that smelled a little bit plasticky, but fine. It just smelled different. Like it didn't. Normally my milk, when it's sitting in the fridge for a couple days, I'll sniff it and it has 0 scent. So I thought it was weird that I was having these like scents, but he still drank that milk even though it had that like kind of almost metallic-y or plasticky scent to it. So I called a lactation specialist, and they said I probably have high lipase in my milk, which means I think it's like, I don't know, something about like the protein that breaks down your fat, and some women have more than others, and the more of that you have, as your milk cools and freezes, that lipase will, I don't really know, it's confusing. I'm no scientist, but basically that is what was making my milk smell. So a way to get rid of that is to blanch your milk before you freeze it. So that way, if you heat it up to 180 degrees, you're essentially pulling all the fat out of that milk. So then it's like skim milk. And then when you freeze it, it doesn't have that smell to it as quickly. So I don't know, I did a batch of it. I did like 16 ounces that way, and I just heated it up in a bottle warmer with a thermometer until it got to 180 degrees and then froze it. And I'll probably test that milk in a few months from now and see if that does anything. But I don't want to start doing that to all my milk, because what if that, you know, totally altered my milk and he doesn't like it that way or whatever. Like, I don't want to ruin it. And since he has been taking the bottles, the way they smell a little bit off, he's still taking those bottles. So I'm not going to do it all, but I know this is like so ranting and stuff, but it's just weird, like when you're trying to figure out like things with your breast milk, you know, if they have a an allergy or gas related issue, like it's just so much trial and error until you get it figured out. So I'm not going to start blanching all of it. I thought I was going to do it every time, but it's, number one, it's too much work, and number two, I don't want him to lose all that fat, even though they say it's still fine to not have that fat, but I know it's better if he has all that fat in it. I am starting to store the milk in the fridge in glass bottles instead. I think that'll help a little bit with maybe the plasticky smell. I also read, this kind of really put my mind at ease, that if your milk does smell like that, number one, it's not bad for the baby. The baby is probably not going to take it because it smells different or weird, but it's no different for them having like sour cream or buttermilk or anything like that. So I did read that you can put vanilla extract that's alcohol free in the milk, and that will help the baby like disguise that taste, and the baby will drink it. So I might do that. I don't know. I mean, he really doesn't drink from bottles anyways, but just for future. And if I donate all my milk, I think they blanch it anyways at the milk bank, so it's no big deal. Or if I donate it, see, I don't know, if I donate it to a person though, I don't want to be like, hi, here's my milk and it smells weird. So that's why I was going to blanch it, because I figured I'd be donating it anyways. So I don't really know. Maybe people understand and they still want it no matter what, but enough about my milk. Let's move on. So he is still breastfeeding full time. His solids, I started him on solids a little bit, but like we don't really, I hope you can hear me over all of his little noises. We don't really do it like that often. Like just kind of when I think of it, I'll get something for him to try, but for the most part, he has maybe a solid every few days. So he's had peas, avocado, and sweet potatoes, and he liked the sweet potatoes. He didn't like the other two, and I was reading that you should start with like the orange and yellow vegetables before you get into the greens, because the greens have a stronger taste that babies don't like as much. So that might be why he didn't like those two. But I'll probably start getting more and more into it, especially once he turns 6 months. I'll probably give him one thing every day. But right now we're just kind of playing around with it, seeing what he likes, what he doesn't like, making sure he's not allergic to anything. So far, his favorite thing solids wise is for me to mix my breast milk with baby oatmeal by Organic Happy Baby, and I put that in the freezer in like these little mesh pouches, and then he sucks it out. He likes that a lot, so that's the most that we've been doing with solids. I've definitely noticed that he's been a lot more content lately. Probably not right now. This is the most like fussy he's been in a while. This is the fussiest he's really been in a while, but for the most part now, like I can set him down. For the most part, I can sit him down on his like little piano toy or whatever, and I can like get some stuff done, and he will start reaching for the toys and just like playing with the keys and like being really content. And that's helped a lot, like tremendously, as far as trying to get things done, like household things and whatever stuff done during the day, when he can kind of entertain himself. And I think once he can sit up on his own and really like play with the toys, he'll really be able to entertain himself a little bit more. Another thing is I If you follow me on Snapchat, you've probably seen his new pod that I got him. So I am obsessed with his little pod that I use all the time. He doesn't fit in that anymore. So they have like a toddler sized one that I bought. Let's see if I can bring it into the frame without, it's gigantic. I can fit in it, that's how big it is. Do you want to lay in your pod? Okay, so here's what it looks like. I just put him in it. And so you can see it's way bigger. Yeah. And it's plush, so it's really, really soft. And it's been really great so far. It was a little pricey compared to his other one. It's totally worth it. Like even now, I think he's already happier just being in that. Do you want your passy? Are you good? So a lot of times in the morning, I'll put him down in that and put on some cartoons, and then I can go and like make a cup of coffee and whatever. And by the time I'm kind of done getting ready, he's usually already asleep for his first nap in that pod. So it's really nice, and he can just kind of lounge in it and hang out, and I love it. It is really big, but I think it'll be nice to travel with too, because when we're at like my parents' house or at other people's houses, there's really never any like safe place to just set your baby down at. So this will be a great thing to bring if I know I'm going to be somewhere for a few hours for a party or whatever. I can bring that and set him in there, and then he can nap or whatever. Next thing is teething. He is 100% teething. Like he just gnaws on he's gnawing on his fingers right now. He gnaws on my fingers. Anything he can get his hands on, he puts his mouth on it. I think he has been teething since like 2 months old. The drool is still continuing. I did buy him a teething necklace that he's wearing right now, but I don't really see any difference in it. He's still drooling pretty much just as much. I'd say maybe the drool's a little bit better, but still a lot of drool, and I don't think it's really helping, but I'm keeping it on him anyways. And then diapers, he's still in size 2, but I'm gonna go ahead and move him up to size 3 as soon as I run out of my size 2. I did buy some diapers at Aldi's, which I calculated to be 13 cents each. So I think that's a pretty good price. And I tried one on him so far. No complaints, but I haven't he hasn't been wearing them daily yet. So we're gonna give that brand a try. And then his weight, he weighs, I think, probably over 15 pounds. The last time I weighed him, he was exactly 15 pounds, and that was at least a week ago. So he's kind of in the 15-pound range. And then clothing wise, the shirt he's wearing right now is still 0 to 3 months, but it's the last time he's gonna wear that. So his 0 to 3 months is like he can maybe get one more wear out of those items, and his 3 to 6 month is his size that he's in right now. And I haven't tried any 6 to 9 month on him yet. I think that's still too big for him. I guess that's it. Are you hungry? Maybe you've been hungry this whole time. Maybe you're hungry. And we do feed on demand too. I think in the beginning I was gonna get on a schedule, but it's honestly just better for us to just feed on demand whenever he's hungry. So I think just needed to eat. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.